So Dungeons and Dragons is a fantastic game for storytelling, role-playing, and having fun with friends. Well, today I'm going to talk about one of my stories that I've been doing with my brother and some of my friends for a minute now. So, we start with a man in the woods, Roderick Ravenwood, a gunslinger, who suspiciously only has one hand. He is my character, and I really enjoy him. I got the idea for a gunslinger after watching, countless episodes of Critical Role, of course, and got the whole idea based off of Percy, who is a fantastic character of himself. If you're interested in D&D at all, I highly recommend Critical Role. So, we start with a man in the woods, mysteriously missing a hand, brandishing a revolver, making his way into town. Well, ends up in the tavern, meets up with an elf ranger with scam nails. This is my friend Griffin's character. He is a knight representing a lord in the area who my character just so happens to have history with. Well, he was sitting here on the words of someone stealing something from the royal belt, and he is after this person. Interesting. A good story, but I'm not sure if it's worth my character to risk his neck on. Well, that's when a 7-foot-tall tiefling walks in, red, horns, the whole thing. Turns out he's a rogue. Comes in, exhausted, buys the biggest bottle of booze he can, downs it in one shot, goes upstairs after buying the room and passes out. I take a minute to go outside and just stand there, looking out at the night sky. That's when a man walks up from covered in blood. We fall into the tavern, and he starts telling us, they took her. Oh my god, they took her. What? Who did they take? My daughter. They took my daughter. So, the man saw his daughter has been stolen. He's freaking out, seeing creatures came into their house and took her in the night. And he says, they were goblins. So that's when Griffin and I decide, this guy really does need help. We obviously can't talk to Ty because he's exhausted upstairs in the room, so we just make our way towards the cemetery, which is where we ended up finding these goblins' hiding spot, following the trails leading from the house of the distraught man. We get there and see 3 goblins outside. Easy, we think, but not easy enough. You see, as we were hiding, I forgot the fact that goblins can see better in the dark than I can, a human. We get spotted, and that's when I throw a dagger right into the skull of one of them, killing them instantly. The other one starts yelling off, trying to alert the other one, but that's when Griffin puts an arrow through his wound. Haha, funny Skyrim reference, sure. So, the goblin's left there, screaming in agony, as Griffin walks up, puts a blade to his throat, and asks, where is she? It's too late. That's all he says before Griffin slits his throat. And that's when we notice the 3rd goblin's making his way into the ruined house of the dead. I take a shot with my pistol, but it's of no use. We run into the building. We don't see anything in the first room, but we do see a set of spiraling stairs. We make our way down. Griffin goes ahead, walks into the next room. 3 arrows go right into his chest. He's knocked out. So, there I am, still on the stairs, seeing my friend fall into the ground, as I face off with 5 goblins and a bugbear. I shot a couple times, but it was of no use, and that's when I tried to bargain with them. Look, we will leave, just let me take him. I tried to reason with him, but it just wasn't working, and the bugbear responded, you can go, but he stays. We need him. I didn't really have room to bargain at that point, so I left. But I ran back to the tavern in the town as quick as I can. When I got there, I kicked open the door, stood on the table, and asked for help from anyone. Would anyone stand with me to help find this missing girl and help my friend? Anyone. And that's when a woman, Keela, a ranger, stands up and says, "I'm not afraid, I'll help you." So, as we begin to make our way out, that's when Ty's character comes stumbling down the stairs the day after a horrible hangover and says, "I'll join you," as he puts his hand on his head, wiping sweat from his brow. So we make our way out back to the cemetery, running full charge, and that's when we see that there are now only 2 goblins patrolling outside. Ty doesn't hesitate. He sprints full speed at one, trying to ram him with his horns, but misses him, unfortunately. One of the other goblins takes an arrow and fires, taking away 8 damage from his total health. We were at level 1, so this almost killed him. He only had 10 health. So, after we dispatched those goblins, we healed up Ty. We didn't have a cleric, but our DM was kind enough to let us use rags and alcohol to heal ourselves. We made our way in. Nothing there, but Ty's character did steal a necklace off the dead corpse of a preacher. We made our way downstairs, and where Griffin had been knocked out, he was gone. We kept going forward and found another set of stairs. When we got to the bottom, we saw a mage hobgoblin standing in the center part of the room, chanting something to a statue. To the left was Griffin lying on a rock, and with a goblin pointing a spear to his neck. To the right was the girl who was stolen, next to a bugbear, the bugbear from before, and another goblin. Not to mention there was a goblin behind the mage the moment we walked in. So I take the first step in, point my gun, and kill the goblin in the first room, splattering brains and viscera all over the magic man and the goblin pointing a spear at Griffin. With that opportunity in place, Griffin grabbed the end of the spear and shocked it, making the goblin drop his spear and just stand there, doing nothing. That's when the battle started. Ty tried to stealth around behind the bugbear and waited for his moment to attack. Keela fired, injuring the bugbear, and then Ty came up behind it and stabbed it in the chest. Plenty of damage to take out a regular goblin, but this was a bugbear. So the bugbear threw Ty off of him, swung his ginormous piece of wood, smacking him into the wall, knocking Ty out. Man, this was really bad, so I started to face off with the magic man. He seemed like the biggest threat at the moment. Took a few shots on him. He was on low health after I was done, but he fired back. I managed to take cover behind a sarcophagus, but I still took damage. I was still hurt. Ty was still not, but at this point Griffin had gotten off of his feet and grabbed onto his weapons. He took out the last goblins while we faced off with the bugbear. Griffin gets knocked down, but we notice that the magic man, the mage, was making his way towards Ty. He grabbed Ty, sinks his teeth deep into his shoulder, and starts sucking his blood. The way our DM described it was that Ty felt as if his life force was leaving him. So, Magic Man stands back up and starts fighting us. Griffin gets knocked down, and then it's up to Keela and I. We're able to dispatch the bugbear with a lot of luck, and then it's just the magic man left. He grabs the girl that they had stolen before, holds his staff to her throat and says, "Come any closer," and she dies. So, I sneak up behind him. Keela takes a precisely aimed arrow, shoots him in the hand, and manages to get him to let go. I put the barrel of my gun to his temple and pull the trigger. But that's when we noticed that goblin from before that had dropped his weapon was running away. So I took a shot and incapacitated him. Non-lethally, of course. Didn't want to kill the guy because, he wasn't trying to hurt us. So, after all that, we picked everybody up, helped the girl, and decided to take her inside the tomb. Soon after, we made it back to the town. Loot in tow, the girl, and a new goblin friend? I don't know how to describe him. And when we got back, we were met with praise. The heroes of Pine Haven, they called us, but we weren't heroes. We were doing something anyone would have done, right? So we stand there, getting free drinks showered upon us by the townsfolk, and we get ready to go to bed. And the next morning is when we hear bells ringing, people yelling, and we see that our tiefling friend that helped us fight that battle last night was gone, along with the goblin that we had taken captive. We walk outside, and that's when we see horse tracks and blood. We walk up to a town member, and we ask, "What happened?" And that's when he tells us our tiefling friend wasn't a friend. He attacked the stable hand, attacked the sheriff, and fled. So, we mounted our horses and began to chase after him. And that was the beginning of our story.